Welcome to the Creating Wealth Podcast, where Kyle Curtin takes you on an extraordinary journey alongside renowned multifamily real estate sponsors and syndication experts from every corner of the United States. We teach you how to harness the power of passive real estate investing and witness the transformation of your wealth building strategy. Let's create wealth together.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? This is Kyle from Creating Wealth. Welcome to episode 135 of the show. Today is another solo episode. It is the day before New Year's. So happy New Year's to all of you absolutely awesome guys and gals out there. Thank you very, very much for, always supporting the show and everybody who has come on the show and everybody in the Facebook group and stuff like that. You guys are all absolutely incredible. And I'm very, blessed and honored to have you guys in this world. So today I'm going to talk about goals/objectives for 2024 for creating wealth and how these things can, collaborate with you guys and with your goals and, how we can help each other in different ways and that type of thing. So to kind of start off and jump into things, for me, after some events that have happened recently and a little bit of pivoting, the more I thought about it, this 2024 is going to be the year of short-term income for me. And I mean, as you guys know and have seen over the past 6 months or so, I absolutely fell in love with the syndication side of the industry. I think it's extremely cool. All these really big projects, all this crazy collaboration, aiding in raising capital and that type of thing. It's extremely cool and I like it a lot. You know what I mean? But the thing to keep in mind, for newer syndicators out there, for folks that are looking to break into the industry, for folks that, maybe are interested in investing passively as an LP, or in, other capacities, it's a long-term game, and it's one of those things that's, I feel like, kind of common information, because when it comes to syndications, these type of projects can go from anywhere from 4 to 10 years. You know what I mean? There's funds and stuff like that too, that, I'm not gonna, kind of overcomplicate it, but basically these are longer term projects, so you're gonna get your quarterly distributions, but when things really hopefully go your way, you're probably gonna get paid out maybe between probably 4-ish years away, roughly, depending on the project and how things go and in the debt market and stuff like that, where interest rates lie and all that fun stuff. And that's all fine and dandy, but the thing to keep in mind is, while those types of things are going on and it takes years to get there, time is still going by, my friends. And as great as it is to have those long-term investments that, you're waiting years for and knock on wood should be pretty lucrative, when the time comes, you still need something in the day-to-day to continue building whatever it is that you're trying to build in the short term. So I went back and forth and that type of thing. And I'm definitely jumping back into agency, and this time around. And I did a little bit at the start of 2023, sold an off-market 4-family in a town nearby and that kind of thing. Did a little bit last year and that type of deal. But, basically jumping back in to, help out a lot more people and, get into properties and sell properties and trade up and that type of thing. Mostly multifamily, because you guys know how much I love that stuff. Multifamily is always the bread and butter for me. And yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. It's I wish the conversation was a lot more common, especially in parts of our industry, that you need, a short-term hustle and a long-term hustle. And a lot of folks out there will do flips and stuff like that as their short-term thing. to then make the profit, reinvest the profit into the multis that build the equity, that produce the cash flow, etc. You need, both the yin and the yang, both sides of that coin to continue moving, And I just like it's interesting, right? Because you think of the books like The One Thing, um, the 80-20 principle, 10x is easier than 2x. They all have this central theme of essentially getting insanely niche and very, very specific in, if possible, the one path that you can go down, if not like two, um, and going insanely deep in that, So it's like at the start of this year when I, started to, kind of be introduced to the syndication stuff, I was like, oh, like I love this so much, you know what I mean? And I, don't really want to, kind of do agency much and that kind of thing, because I feel like for the first time in potentially ever, especially in the business context, I finally found what I wanted. You know what I mean? But the only thing is like I mentioned a few minutes ago, it's a long-term play. So you still need something else to, continue to build things. Because I mean, like, a lot of you guys know, it's from like 98% of us, it takes a good amount of time to find some of these properties and, where the numbers work and the sellers are reasonable, with the number purchase price that they expect and that type of thing. It takes a while, and especially much longer for some of these larger properties to be able to syndicate, you know? So in the meantime, like, yeah, I have my W-2 and that kind of thing. But it just like you need something else, you know what I mean? So like I mentioned, I mean, I absolutely love, as you guys know, like, sharing information and teaching folks and that kind of thing, showing people how real estate can work for you and create abundance and that type of thing, in different parts of your life. And it just made more sense. And I'm kind of excited to, kind of pivot a tiny bit and jump more into agency and that type of thing. Um, definitely in Mass, like Middlesex County, especially because I'm, right in Tewksbury. Always loved Middlesex County, like Worcester County. I'm testing for my New Hampshire license as well right now, hopefully in the next like few days or so. Hopefully get that thing banged out and start doing some work up in New Hampshire as well. I've already had a few people reach out, for New Hampshire for potential clients. So I'm like, all right, like, let's get this test scheduled. Like, let's get this friggin' thing over with, you know? Um, but yeah, you know what I mean? As well as, so in addition to, helping out a lot more folks, pick up some of these smaller buildings, potentially bigger buildings, doing a lot more direct mail, constantly, every month, and just giving a lot of, genuine value, So after, something that happened kind of recently, I really like sat down and started to think. I'm like, okay, so, I definitely, want to jump back into agency, but at the same time, you know, I'm able to offer, yeah, like buying and selling multis and that type of thing. Our property management company, has a program where it, might be a fit for some sellers and that type of thing to be able to offer PM services around, our neck of the woods. Obviously I'm an investor and, have a little bit of capital that is, I'm kind of, looking to do some things with in the relatively, near future, next few months or so, that type of thing. To be able to buy, those properties and that type of thing. And it just, just like be a reasonable guy, and just try to provide value where I can. Link people up with contractors and insurance folks and attorneys and that type of deal. Just give a lot of value, you know what I mean? Like we're all investors, we're all cut from the same cloth. Like there's a lot of things that all of us can do to help each other. And it's not things to be taken for granted, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, and I mean definitely I've been mailing 6 to 100 units. I did a touch a few months ago. I gotta roll that up again and keep ripping those things. But as well as marketing to some smaller buildings, and kind of offering some of these services to a lot of the landlords and investors around our neck of the woods. just to help out, you know what I mean? And create opportunity and that type of thing. And yeah, like just giving genuine value. You know what I mean? Um, One of the other things that was kind of a pivot for me, I mean, most of you guys have heard me mention in the past, whether it be like at a meetup or in a conversation of any sort, or even on the show. I've mentioned it a few times too in the past couple of years because my opinion's been the same over the past few years. Um, of after doing that first, buying that first 2 to 4 family and doing it myself and doing the landlord thing and all that, I've never really wanted to buy another 2 to 4 unit, so it's my logic has always been, I'm like, okay, I'll do the landlord even before I bought Lemonster 2 years ago at this point. Even before I bought Lemonster, I'm like, all right, I'll do FHA 3.5 down, do the landlord house hack thing, learn a bunch of lessons, put a bunch of systems in place, automation, delegation, all of the Asians. um, and then leverage the equity from that building, be it, home equity line, be it cash out refi, like whatever that looks like. For me, it's through a HELOC. To be able to JV with folks and start, branching out and expanding up, in terms of unit count and that type of deal. And, jumping into 6 units and stuff like that around Mass and, essentially shifting from landlord to investor, like asset manager, implementing the business plan, execution, like that type of thing. But I'm thinking about it differently now because, I mean, again, many of you guys are familiar with the new 5% conventional loan product that just came out. And if you're not, feel free to reach out to me and I would love to talk about it with you. That is pretty game changing. I mean, because like I was thinking about it, man, I'm like, my FHA rate is 2.6 fixed. I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? So I'm like, there's all this trapped equity in that building. And it's like now, how do I keep growing? Outside of obviously, continuing to help folks and that type of thing, which, as a result of doing a good job and all that will result in more income, to buy another building and etc. But ever since that product came out, I'm like, damn, man, I'm like, this thing makes me think and shift that opinion that I've had for the past over 2 years. I was like, oh, well, maybe I should just house hack again with the 5% down product and, potentially leverage some of that HELOC capital, depending on how the deal, forecasted cash on cash rates go, where interest rates are at, that type of thing. Just see how the numbers pan out, and go from there. So I'm looking to pick up another 3 or 4 units this year. That might shift around, but I'm pretty confident with that at this point in time. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And I mean, I definitely have a goal as well to pick up another 6 family, and because I'm going to keep marketing to the 6 to 100 unit list that I've been that I've sent the mailers to and all that, and keep ripping that. And, if and when anything comes from that, that's reasonable and makes sense, figure out a way to JV with some folks on it and that type of thing. And, do a neat little, project. And I think that would be kind of cool, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. I mean, definitely it's basically, like I said, it's the year of short-term income, like year of, trying to produce opportunity and just go, you know what I mean? And leverage and, the year to run, you know what I mean? One of the things that I am, and like I'm saying all these things, guys, because these are things that we might be able to potentially do together, in some sort of capacity. And I am very open to, talking with pretty much anybody, to kind of hear your goals, to talk about my goals and see if there's any places where we can, intersect in a mutual win-win type of fashion, and see what we got, and might be able to work together on something or whatever an arrangement could look like. One of the things I am excited about that I've been thinking about for a while, that's going to start on January 7th, which is next week, is I'm going to start doing weekly lives on like Sunday mornings. I don't have a name for it yet. Maybe between like 9:30 a.m. and 10 or 10:30, something like that. Just going through like a short like PowerPoint deck talking about a particular topic. Like almost like a seminar, like workshop type of deal, just in our Facebook group. So tell your friends if they want to learn some real estate to join our group. um, and doing those, because I love doing events, guys. To be honest with you, like I've kind of been burnt out from like the meetup circuit, because I hosted a meetup in Gardner last year for the majority of the year, and like that was fun. We kind of pivoted after that, and I hosted one in Woburn for a while, or I'm sorry, that was 2 years ago, and then Woburn was actually earlier this year, if I remember right. Yeah, never mind. So Gardner was last year, Woburn was, earlier this year, and that type of thing. That one was a lot of fun. I love, speaking in front of people. I love the, getting people together, like putting a little like event on and that kind of thing. I think it's a lot of fun, you know. But the thing is to be honest with you, like finding guest speakers is kind of a lot of work, and I've done it for a while, and I just, I don't know, man. It's kind of a lot of work, and I just don't really resonate with it 100,000,000% like I used to. Like it doesn't just really like excite me that much. But I love putting on events and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm thinking like, just a little something, going from, basically a lot of the topics that we talk about on a regular basis in our world, from even like how a real estate transaction works, to one of my favorite topics that I've really enjoyed having fun with this year, of how to implement a lot of tech into your buildings and sensors, and basically building like a residential building automation system to be able to like see from your phone, like from a distance, like to self-manage and all that. One of them will be like that topic, and just try to do a little something just to teach, and the other thing that I am planning on doing as well is basically having I mean, it's, yeah, like I said, it's going to be like a live thing, so people will be able to interact and that type of deal. um and basically taking the audio from that and turning that into like a little like podcast episode kind of thing. um and yeah, I think something like that could be fun, just do a little like collaboration type of thing every week. Like it's not going to be anything super super crazy, but just something that's like topic based, go through some slides, teach the community and that kind of thing, like have the community interact and that type of deal. Try to like bring people together in a way like that, just with something small, and then take the recordings and post those as podcasts on like Fridays or something like that. And that I'll figure out, but yeah, I think something like that could be fun. So I'm kind of curious. I haven't like announced it or anything yet. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while, but I'm ready to do it. So January 7th is the date. I already have some stuff put together. I got to test a couple things and like test the platform and go into the group and that type of thing, and see how it goes, but yeah, so I think that one can be a lot of fun, and I mean, definitely like I said, it's definitely something that I, am going to host like dominantly solo. um but absolutely would love to have people interacting, and it'd be cool to like have people help out as well, and that type of thing. I think it would be a lot of fun, and just a little like kind of safe space for people to ask questions and people to learn, and learn about um like different loan products to choose from, and like how to get your goals like straight before jumping into real estate for the first time. Like just something to give to you guys, you know what I mean? And um I think that could be potentially a lot of fun, and it's like I said, it's something that I have always very much enjoyed. uh so yeah, I'm kind of curious your guys' thoughts on that. So we're gonna have some fun with that on Sunday. So stay tuned. um, and yeah, I mean, I'd say like the last thing is maintaining balance with the 5Fs. And I've made some podcast episodes in the past about the 5Fs. But to kind of like recap super briefly, it's, essentially this type of like system in a way to be able to run your life through and kind of have an idea of where you're at in, some of the very important areas of your life. So the 5Fs are, the first one is friends and family, fitness, faith, fun, and finances. And finances is always last intentionally, on that list. The other ones, mean different things to different people, so they'll size up differently. But the 5Fs is something that is very near and dear to my heart since, a couple buddies introduced me to it originally. And it's something that I think about very, very often, and just kind of like have a lot of self-awareness in regards to like where you're currently at in each of those different areas of your life and, how you can improve and having goals in those and like just how you want to shift, you know what I mean? And it's definitely, continuing to work on those, and just continuing to grow, you know what I mean? And just having fun the whole way and calling it a day, So I'm kind of curious with you guys. I mean, your goals for 2024, if you have like a central type of theme for the year, like for me, it's short-term income, and how you are kind of like going at that. And, yeah, so yeah, I think, that might be pretty much it for now, guys. I hope everybody has or had an absolutely phenomenal new year. This is coming out on January 1st, so it's kind of cool. Happy New Year. Woo! And yeah, definitely if you guys could, leave a rating and a review down below, share this with some friends. I'd love to hear your thoughts on pretty much everything that I talked about today. If there's anybody that wants to potentially like, have conversations and, might want to work together in some sort of capacity, I'd love to talk to you. So, feel free to shoot me like a direct message or something like that, or shoot me an email. It's Kyle@creatingwealth.com. That's KYLE at KCREatingwealth.com. Alrighty, my friends. Happy freaking New Year. I will talk to you very soon, and I'll see you Sunday morning. Alrighty. Have a absolutely phenomenal Monday today. Alrighty. Goodbye.
That's a wrap for today's episode. We want to thank you for being a valued listener of the Creating Wealth podcast. Make sure to visit www.creatingwealth.com to connect with us. Dive into our ever-expanding library of informative blogs. Get access to our private investor portal and explore a wide range of additional valuable resources. Stay tuned for our next episode as we continue to create wealth together.